What is up YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and in this video I just want to talk a little bit about the upcoming releases for Marvel Avengers Alliance, specifically Kraven and Lizard. So we're doing something different in this video, but I thought would be a pretty good idea. It all starts with the announcement that there were changes in the PvP 27 reward hero. I'll link the post in the description below, but it basically says, to accommodate the PvP schedule, character balance, and testing, they had to make some changes to the rewards. So instead of Hellcat, it's going to be Kraven and the Lizard as a lockbox character. I think this is pretty exciting news, and the cool thing about these two is they're both villains in-game. So what we're going to do is face each of these upcoming semi-heroes, and while we do that, we're going to go over what they have and what they do. First up, Kraven, the actual PvP reward hero. Now of course these characters probably aren't going to be the exact same, but I do believe their abilities and their passives will give us some sort of insight on what they most likely will bring to the table. I'm sure there'll be some sort of iteration, if not in some ways identical. Now the first thing we can see about Kraven is he is a tactician, and I would be surprised if he's anything but that once he's able to be recruited. He also has the boss buff Relentless, but I doubt he's going to have that once we get him. What I do believe he'll have at least some variation of is the Hunter. It reduces damage from attackers with poisoned and bleeding effects. He preemptively counters bleeding enemies, and he follows up on single target attacks on poisoned enemies. So that's a pretty awesome passive that I'm definitely looking forward to, and I do believe he'll get that. So as we begin this fight, we'll see some other things he's capable of, and we'll talk about his abilities. But first, I do want to mention the white borders on the side. For some reason the game wouldn't let me go into full screen mode, so unfortunately that's going to be there for this video. One other interesting note about Kraven is I actually named my hunter after him, so that's how much I like him. My main character in Vanilla WoW was a hunter, named after Kraven the Hunter. Then for his abilities, you're going to see him use the buff Be Prepared. This is a quick action, and it's going to give him Hunter's Trap. The next character that attacks Kraven triggers a trap. We're going to go ahead and trigger that with my agent, just by using the Smothering Shadow. So there's the Poison Mist Trap. Basically, now we're poisoned. Then we'll go ahead and attack with the Blade of the Guardian. After that, we'll see a few more turns from Kraven, and hopefully go through the rest of his abilities. Next we're going to see I Am the Hunter. That's a melee slashing attack that has contagion, causes poison, applies slowed to targets with poison, dizzy to targets with slowed, and poison will spread to nearby targets with bleeding on impact. Then by the way, the most dangerous game is his default counter and follow-up attack. It's a ranged slashing type, and it applies poisoned, bleeding, and ravaged. Finally, his abilities that we may not get to see are Law of the Jungle, it's a bio attack, stealthy, and has hemorrhaging. Then it applies Envenomed, Pressure Points, Opportunist, and Disoriented to all enemies. So will he get all that? I don't know, but it would be incredible. Lastly, he has another buff heal. This is called Hunter's Thirst. It's a quick action, and it says the next single target attack gains exploits bleeds, and exploits poison. Plus it grants super heroic. So I don't know if he's going to get all of that either. I'm sure at least some of these abilities will remain the same, and I'm sure he's going to be a tactician. Plus, I really hope he gets a Sinister Six team buff. I believe him and the Lizard should both get theirs. His Sinister Six buff says members gain targeted. In other words, all single target attacks gain marked for revenge. Then as far as his bio, his first Marvel Avengers Alliance appearance was in Chapter 8, Mission 2. His first comic appearance was way back in The Amazing Spider-Man number 15. Sergei Kravinoff is a world-famous big game hunter, better known as Kraven the Hunter. With an intense obsession, he hunts for Spider-Man as his next trophy. Oh, and also, I love his sprite in game, so it's going to look fantastic. The same thing goes with Lizard. But let's go ahead and fight him and go over his abilities as well. Now the thing with Lizard is he is also a tactician. And do I think they're both going to be tacticians? Well, there's a chance. But if they do change one, I think it's going to be the Lizard. Just the fact that there's going to be another lockbox character already, I think is amazing. I happen to like collecting covers and seeing what they put in there. Then I try to collect the covers in real life, though some of them are pretty impossible. But one thing you're going to notice about the Lizard, one of the first things, is his reptilian regeneration. This comes from his lizard DNA, and that's his main passive besides Relentless, which of course once again is a boss thing. For his Sinister 6 buff though, he causes members to gain regenerate, which would be a pretty awesome bonus. His tail swipe is a melee attack. It causes tenderized, off balance, and winded. So not too overwhelming, it definitely could be in the game. However, one thing I want to note is his regeneration regenerates HP every round, but fire and acid stops regeneration. You'll also see fortified and strengthened. These buffs come from a quick action conduct experiment. It's subtle, and it grants him fortified and strengthened. Other than that, he has a septic bite, which is his default counter and follow-up. This is a melee slashing type that has high crits, causes poisoned, and ravaged. Then his final attack is Rending Slash. It's once again a melee slashing type and it causes bleeding times 3. So he's actually a great team up with Kraven. And like I said, I really hope they both get their Sinister 6 team bonuses. As for this boss finale, I'm once again going to finish it with Spider-Man. It's only fitting. And then we'll take a quick look at his bio as well. First of all, I know the Lizard goes way back. Kurt Connors is even older than Sergey. His first Marvel Avengers Alliance appearance, though, was in Season 2, Chapter 6, Mission 6. His first comic appearance was way back in The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1, Number 6. After a genetic experiment went horribly wrong, Dr. Kurt Connors was transformed into the Reptilian Lizard. Just another great character, and I'm very excited to get both of these guys in-game. But I'd also love to hear your opinion on it. What classes do you think they'll be? Will they stay tacticians? Do you think they'll maintain most of their abilities and passives? And should they have their Sinister 6 team buff? Go ahead and post what you think in the comment section below. That's going to be it for this one, but I want to thank you all for watching, and ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck, and take care.